My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. Hit subscribe right now. This is not a very good day for truth or justice or the United States. It's actually a really terrible day in terms of what the government can do to somebody to entrap them, what the system can do to thrust them into this whirlwind of just propaganda and bureaucracy and political motivation to hurt, to harm. General Michael Flynn did not, and Judge Emmett Sullivan corrected this, and Judge Emmett Sullivan is an honorable man. I'll explain. But Judge Emmett Sullivan corrected and stated, okay, well, because he had stated, hey, look, why were you a consultant as National Security Advisor? Number one, Michael Flynn never consulted with the Turkish government as National Security Advisor. That's number one. And if you're talking about Turkey, President Obama and Samantha Power promised that the United States of America would recognize finally the Armenian Genocide, which they did not. They lied. So you're talking about Turkey. The biggest issue, one of the biggest issues, is that the United States should recognize the Armenian Genocide. Samantha Power has a YouTube video, or there was a video on YouTube when President Obama was campaigning, when he was candidate Obama, that said, oh yeah, we're going to recognize the Armenian Genocide. He lied to the Armenian community. Now, I'm not Armenian, but I have a lot of great close people to me who are friends who are Armenian. And I've written a lot about the subject, and I've stated that President Obama should, and the country should, and President Trump should recognize the Armenian Genocide. But in addition to, when you're talking about Turkey, it was a consulting contract. So what he did was consult prior to becoming National Security Advisor. He did not consult with Turkey when he was National Security Advisor. That did not happen. That did not happen. Okay, that's number one. Number two, nobody, not the prosecution, the Mueller Probe actually just wants no jail time. Nobody wants Flynn to serve because he was obviously set up, and whatever quote-unquote lie that he's pleading to, which, theoretically he shouldn't plead guilty, but he doesn't want to fight the system forever. The system is like the house in Vegas or Atlantic City. They always win. The best gamblers only win a little over 50% of the time. That's it. The house wins more often than not. And so Flynn's lawyers, what were they going to say? Oh yeah, well, Judge Sullivan, we know we're innocent, but we're pleading guilty just because we don't want to spend the money and risk the system, the government winning and actually going and actually losing the case and serving jail time. No, you can't tell a judge that. So he pleaded guilty, but he did not plead guilty to Trump-Russia collusion. There was no Trump-Russia collusion. There was no criminal behavior within the discussion with Sergei Kislyak. Even the prosecution was like, well, what about the Logan Act? The judge laughed at that. Judge Sullivan was like, yeah, nobody's been prosecuted or whatever. Like, nobody gets prosecuted under that act. So, Obama came in with a Russian reset, no Logan Act there, complete opposite of Bush's foreign policy. That's why you have a presidential election, because people want a different foreign policy. They want different policies. Okay? If you're the incoming National Security Advisor, you could speak to Sergei Kislyak, which reminds me, or which is interesting, why is Sergei Kislyak speaking to Sessions and Flynn so close to the election? Who went up to whom? Sessions recused himself. That's what I said today. Sessions recused himself, ladies and gentlemen. And he recused himself only for egotistical purposes, because of his ego. He wanted to be Attorney General at all costs. So instead of going after Hillary Clinton, he recused himself from the Russia probe, thus allowing Rosenstein to... They were talking about a special counsel even before Comey was fired. There should be a special counsel for Clinton emails in the Clinton Foundation. There should be. There isn't. Why? Blame Sessions. Sessions was not activated. Blame Sessions. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no plan. You believe in a plan, you're believing in almost certainly Democratic Party propaganda. I know because I was on the left. Okay? People who were not on the left don't know. They don't understand. They don't get, complacency is exactly what Democrats want. If you're complacent and you're trusting some altruistic vision of the future because of a message board, that is exactly what the deep state or the Democratic Party wants. General Michael Flynn was set up. Andrew McCabe told him, do not bring a lawyer. Don't bring White House. He could have just had White House legal counsel go with him. It would have been so easy. But they set him up. They made him believe everything was okay. They made him believe that nothing was going to happen. It was just fine. This is a 33-year Army veteran, general, 3-star general, former Defense Intelligence Agency chief. Okay? So for all those, white hat believing 8chan Q people, where do you think these alleged fantasy, imaginary, because it's not happening, intel officers reside? Within the Defense Intelligence Agency? This guy's the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, one of the 4 military intelligence branches. Look what they're doing to him. And he didn't even do anything wrong. He didn't type classified or non-classified. It would be classified data through riddles, through 8chan. It's not happening. There's no evidence to support it. And even the people who back it are not certain of it. But look what they did to the defense under President Obama. His Defense Intelligence Agency. The DIA chief. They set him up. They criminalized a discussion with the Russian ambassador. Jeff Sessions was forced to recuse himself. Rosenstein then started the Mueller probe, which then ensnared Flynn, entrapped Flynn, because of speaking to Sergei Kislyak. Meanwhile, Andrew McCabe has a grand jury investigating him. Peter Strzok was fired and James Comey was fired, but that's not enough. Declassify things to ensure that McCabe has to answer for a whole lot, and then flips and sings on Comey, and then Comey flips and sings on Clinton. It's really not that difficult. Who knows what President Trump is waiting for, but he's waiting too long. He should have fired Mueller when he had the chance. And if he fired Mueller, he would have simply asked, where's the evidence of Russia collusion? Because now they're not even talking about Trump-Russia collusion. They've went from Trump-Russia collusion to campaign finance, and now they're talking about Turkey. Today was an opportunity for the Democratic Party to spin their narrative even more. Today was an opportunity for media and Democrats to say, aha, you see, the Mueller probe has teeth. Meanwhile, the original reason for the Mueller probe, Trump-Russia collusion, all of these things, nowhere to be found. There is no Trump-Russia collusion. Oh, but he indicted Russian hackers. No, he didn't. There were no indictments of Russian hackers. We have no clue if these intelligence officers did anything. How do we know? We have no clue because the United States government never looked at the DNC servers. They got what is said to be a pristine copy from CrowdStrike. Images and copies of these of hundreds of over 100 servers. Why should we trust a third-party tech firm outsourced by the DNC and Hillary Clinton? Obviously, they're going to do the bidding of the DNC and Hillary Clinton. Obviously. We know recently that Christopher Steele was hired. He testified. Yeah, he was hired for opposition research to hurt Trump. The longer this goes, the more difficult it'll be for Trump to actually fight the deep state that he was elected to fight. You have corrupt FBI officials. Peter Strzok is like one of the most corrupt FBI agents in history. And you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where you have Strzok and McCabe and Comey, and they're overtly committing illegal acts. Overt. They set up Flynn. They set up Papadopoulos beyond belief. You get more information from Gilligan's Island, Professor Mifsud, the professor at Gilligan's Island. Mifsud, oh yeah, it ties to Russia. It's like, no, there's not even the Trump Tower meeting. This is all smoke and nonsense. Where is the direct tie to Putin? Because Bill Clinton actually met with Putin at his home in Moscow while the uranium deal was going down. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's in Newsweek and everything. So it's like, there are different standards for Democrats and different standards for anyone near Trump. Trump has Matthew Whitaker. He's president. He has the Senate. He'll never be impeached no matter what he does. You're not going to get 2/3 of a Republican-controlled Senate. And he has the CIA, Gina Haspel. He has the government. He didn't get his wall done. At least get Clinton indictments or a special counsel or some kind of move or push towards. Because you need a special counsel at least. You can't have probe after probe. Comey lied his behind off. Nothing happened. Comey already lied his behind off, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. And it's like, you have a situation where people are complacent. They are complacent. Oh, trust, everything will be working. You don't even know. I get this from people. You're no Trump HA. How do you know what he's doing? Yeah, you know what? I also didn't win a Super Bowl as a coach. But if the coach goes 0-12 or 0-16 the next season, you know what? I'll critique. Don't trust any plan. And just because you were extremely successful doing one thing, look. President Trump snuck up on the system, the media, the deep state, the Democratic Party. He snuck up on them. They even tried to elevate Trump because they thought they were doing something. They thought that nobody would vote for him. Now he's president, and they've spent every single day, every single waking hour, every single second, every single moment, every single second, millisecond, trying to take him down. Every single second trying to take him down. And it wears on people. Now, it gets people angry who want him to succeed. Yeah, I'm frustrated, and I can't stand what happened today. I want Trump to win in 2020. I want peace between North and South Korea. I don't want a neoconservative democratic foreign policy. When people say, how do you go from Jill Stein to Trump or Bernie to Trump? Well, you go because you don't want, you vote for Trump after Bernie because you don't want neoconservatives destroying countries like Libya and exacerbating refugee crisis and all these things. But ladies and gentlemen, Trump is wasting time. There should be a movement, not of complacency, but of letting him know, hey, he has to get this done now. Get her done. He has to get it done quick. Don't wait. Get a special counsel going. You have Matthew Whitaker. You have the evidence from whistleblowers. You have whistleblower testimony from William D. Campbell. You have public record data. You have an ongoing FBI probe. What happened to the ongoing FBI probe in 2018, the beginning of 2018? And that was started with McCabe. You have enough evidence. I do believe he's going to act in January or in the beginning of next year, because from January to June, that's the time period that he has to act. That's the time period he must act. If he doesn't act at that time period, big problem. Because then the election season, will be upon us, and then people say, well, no, you really are trying to. Then there can't be a special counsel. People say, oh, it's an obvious attempt at influencing the election. The obvious attempt at influencing the election was the Steele dossier. But what happened today with Michael Flynn, he didn't. He wasn't consulting for Turkey as national security advisor. Nothing he said to Sergei Kislyak was illegal. It wasn't illegal to speak to Sergei Kislyak. He didn't even really lie. He lied about not remembering something, which is not really a lie. I mean, how many times do you not remember something? Then he had to plead guilty because he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to risk jail time for something that wasn't even a crime to begin with. They entrapped him on a process crime. It was all protocol. This is it's like if you're working for a corporation and they're like, oh, well, you didn't wash the coffee pot out. Did you? Well, we have videotape says you didn't. Oh, you're gone. You're fired. Protocol is what got Michael Flynn. Protocol, and a surreptitious, malicious, insidious attempt at trying to simply set up a good person or a person that was unaware of what they were trying to do. They set him up. And what is he supposed to say to Judge Emmett Sullivan, or what is he supposed to say? He's not going to fight the system because it's a losing proposition. The chances are you'll lose. You'll do jail time. You won't get any of the money back and he still won't from all the attorney's fees. So it's a losing proposition. It's a losing, which is why he pled guilty to something he should never have pled guilty to. But what do you expect? Hit subscribe right now. Okay? And for the people who, oh my God, I'm unsubbing, come back. If you don't come back, fine. I have no problem. I know that this channel will be growing because I use public record knowledge, public record sources, and I'm not right all the time, but I have the pulse of what's going on. And I'm genuine and I'm myself. I don't claim to speak on behalf of military intelligence officers writing riddles on 8chan. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Today was not a good day, but sentencing has been delayed, obviously. Let's hope that there's some good that comes out of the sentencing delay. Let's hope that, if I was Trump right now, I would declassify everything I need to, give it to Judge Emmett Sullivan, and pardon Flynn. Declassify everything you need to, Trump. No redactions. Give it to Judge Emmett Sullivan. And pardon Flynn tomorrow. Hit subscribe. Thank you.